Part 1 webinar. Today, the webinar is on the topic skills required post-COVID pandemic 19. Now, I, on behalf of MIT, once again welcome you all. I would like to call upon Mr. Naveen Kaushik, IRO, to introduce the speaker in the webinar. Naveen, sir.
Thank you, Ayush. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sir. I hear you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, very good evening to everyone. And I am Naveen Kaushik, working in the placement team of MIET Group. Today, we have in between us Mr. Amit Saxena to take this session, Industry Connect Part 1. Mr. Amit is having around 15 years of experience in this telecom industry. He worked for TCS, Infosys, Bharti Airtel, and presently he's working as a senior business consultant in Tech Mahindra based at London. He completed his BTech from Electronics and Communication branch from the UPTU Lucknow. After graduation, he completed his PGDM from Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. Mr. Amit will share his experience of industry, and today he will brief about the skills required after this COVID era, COVID-19. I will not take much time, and directly I invite Mr. Amit Saxena to handle this session for next 40 to 45 minutes. Mr. Amit, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Hi all. Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Amit Saxena. I work for Tech Mahindra. I'm based out in London, UK. I'm very privileged and honored to be a part of this discussion and associated with MIT Institute. As part of my introduction, I would like to tell you that I'm not, a foreigner or a stranger for you guys, because I am associated with MIET already, because I passed my engineering from Meerut Institute of Engineering and Technology in the year 2005 from Electronics and Communication branch. So in a way, MIT is already close to my heart, as MIET is. So, we already have a kind of a relationship between you and me. Apart from that, after college, I completed my postgraduate diploma in business administration from Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. My specialization was finance, and mainly I looked into the treasury management and investment management as the areas of specialization. In total, I have 15 years of experience, work experience, wherein I have worked in different profiles. I started my career as a solution designer with the Tech Mahindra only, where I had worked on designing the IT applications for telecom providers across the globe. Some of the main clients were like British Telecom, Telstra in Australia, and Vodafone UK. Post that, I joined Tata Communications, which is based out in Pune. Okay, just give me a second. Somebody's asking me to initiate the video, so bear with me. Let me check if I can do that. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see me on the video?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. Hello all. I hope you can see me clearly. Okay. So yeah. So I was talking about my experience. So I have completed my sorry, after engineering, I worked for Tech Mahindra, and then I moved on to Tata Communications in Pune. In Tata Communication, I worked for a product called video conferencing solution, which is called telepresence. It is a very it is a flagship product of Tata Communication, which is used across the globe by different organizations and industries. It is primarily used to do real-time meetings like we are doing on this Zoom platform. Similarly, they have a dedicated, I would say, a product which has television handsets and telephone headset, which are used to do the real-time meeting. So for example, you must have seen Mr. Modi doing different telephone video conferencing uh, in a room, or maybe you would have seen President of India doing different telephone video conferencing with different people across the globe. So they are doing actually on the telepresence, which is provided by different companies. Tata Communication is one of them. So that is their flagship product, and I have worked on it as a product manager. I defined that particular product for Tata Communication, and I defined all the requirements around it, as in how it should be built, what should be done basically, and then what sort of software and applications were required. And then I moved on to Infosys, where I joined as a end-to-end solution architect, and my main role was to actually build the architecture around the IT application stack, which is supported by British Telecom in UK here. So British Telecom is one of the leading telecom provider in UK. Just like, for example, in India you have BSNL or MTNL as a government organization. So here in UK we have British Telecommunication. Then after that, I moved back to TechM again. This is my second inning with Tech Mahindra, and right now I'm placed in one of its clients, O2, or in other words, we call it as Telefonica. The parent company is called Telefonica. It's a Spanish company, and I'm working for it's one of its brand called O2, which is a mobile company primarily based out in UK, which includes Scotland, Ireland, and England and Wales. So here I'm working as a account partner, where my main responsibility are to increase the business for Tech Mahindra, and do mining of new business, maintain and manage the relationship with our clients, and also ensure that any sort of escalations or any sort of issues around our resourcing, around our services that we are providing to them are getting sorted within the agreed timelines. So this is a brief introduction about myself. I hope I am able to tell you about my background clearly. So in this discussion, we are going to talk about what are the skills that are required post COVID-19 pandemic. So I know in fact, most of us, in fact, all of us have been impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic, and the entire world has kind of gone on hold in this situation, where people are not able to do their things, or do their jobs, or do their business properly. So as you can, I mean, you can see that in the last 4 to 5 months, and almost the entire world has been into a lockdown. And as most of us were in the lockdown at home, we were left with a situation where we were kind of blocked in our way, in the way that we were progressing in our respective areas, whether it was studies, or whether it is our jobs or our businesses or whatever. So basically uh, this difficult time has actually left a thought in our minds that what something has definitely going to change after this. So definitely there will be a new normal going forward after this pandemic situation is going to over. And I think this is the right time when everybody, including all of us in the corporate world, should ponder upon what we should change in our way of working, or what we should change in our daily work activities, and what changes should we do in our skills, because eventually the business model and the way people work or have been working until March, or May, April or May timelines, those are going to change definitely. So the businesses, the companies who are developing products, application services, be it in any of the industry, whether it is banking, it is telecommunication, or healthcare, pharma, or any other industry, they are going to re-prioritize their products and services which they are going to roll out in the market. That means they are going to utilize certain new technologies or new skills that are required to be inculcated within their resources. So you know that every organization has two type of resources. One is the human resources, which are us, people like us. Second is the technological resources, machines basically, which help them in generating more revenues, more businesses by different ways. So as human resources, it is very important for us to understand what sort of skills are required going forward in future. Now, before that, before I jump on to what skills are required going forward, I would like to talk about what should be what should be the framework, or what should be our mindset at this point of time. Now, I understand that the audience in this discussion is primarily from the academic background, and most of the attendees are from the students fraternity. So I believe you must be very much keen to understand and listen from me about what sort of skills you should possess now, or what sort of skills you should hone in the coming year, so that you become ready to work in the challenging business environments. So for that, I have built a couple of slides for you guys, and I would like to take you through those two couple of slides. So just bear with me. I'll share my screen with all of you, and then you can tell me whether you can see or not. So I think I can do that via this share screen option. Um, Bear with me. I'm new to this Zoom application, so I need to find out from where I can do the sharing. Okay. So Ayush, would you be able to help me here? Exactly from where can I start the sharing, screen sharing?
Bottom of the screen, you must have the option share screen.
Yeah, I clicked on it, and two options are coming: who can share, who can start sharing when someone else is sharing. So I selected who can share, all panelists. Now, after that, I'm not getting any other option to actually select the presentation which I want to share.
Sir, you just pin on the screen option, screen. Select the window application that you want to share. Is it coming?
Just, yeah, it's coming. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Share. All right. I hope,
Yeah, your screen is visible, sir.
can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Skills required post COVID-19 pandemic. Amit
Yeah.
Saxena, 7th August 2020.
Yes,
Okay.
that's nice. That's good. Okay, good. So, so before we actually start on what sort of skills are required, we need to understand how we can simplify our life, which is very complex, right? For all the students, I'm sure some of the students might be feeling or they might have a confusion in their mind. What should they do? What sort of skills they should possess? Which stream should they go? What sort of what is happening basically across in their ecosystem? So it is very important, before we actually understand what sort of skills are required. So it is very important that you understand what how you can simplify your life. So for that, I have identified three areas which you should focus on. The first is the professional development, as in how your professional development should happen, or what are the important aspects of your professional development when you want to work in a professional environment. It doesn't matter whether you go for a secondary education, higher education or not, but eventually you are going to work in a corporate world, whether it is academics or research or technology or business, or even if you do your own business. So there are certain things which are which are very important from professional development point of view. Then the second is the traits, which are nothing uh, but your internal qualities or your internal habits which you should possess and you should always have in order to be successful in your life. And then ultimately each and every one of us should have a goal in our life. If you don't have a goal in your life, then definitely you're doing something wrong with your life, I'm sure. Because if you're not having a goal, then you are going to miss out on very important benefits of your life, which you will reap in future. Not maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. So today you might be doing BTech or BCA or BCom or BBA or any other bachelor's degree. You might not have that type of responsibility where you are having your own family, or you might not be responsible. People may not be dependent on you economically, but going forward in future, when you will pass your graduation and you will start your job, eventually you are going to be a person on whom people will be dependent. Your family is going to be dependent, your society is going to be dependent on you. So how those things, so you definitely need certain benefits from your life which you can reap, right? So so I'll talk about professional development first. So the most important thing in your life is this prism. Understand this prism. This is something which is very simple, but we must understand the importance of each and everything. So you see, most of you would have already completed your graduation by now, but before that you would have done your schooling. Now you understand, in everybody's life schooling is a very important plays a very important role. Most of the times we feel that whatever we learn in schools doesn't help us in life, or it may be irrelevant, but that is not the case. The situation is, whatever you learn in school, even if you are learning an integration in mathematics, maybe you might have mugged up, or you might have not understood integration in mathematics in 11th or 12th class. Even that is a very important role in your life, because that helps in developing your logical thinking, right? So whatever you have learned in school has actually built your foundation. So your life is type of a prism building, which is standing on a foundation which is given by our schools. Okay, so of course you cannot go back and do your schooling again. So whatever you have gained so far has gained. So probably if you get some time in future and you might want to uh, you know make your foundation more strong, then you might want to revisit your original fundamentals of your school. But if time doesn't permit, that does not mean that you cannot do anything. You still have time to make your foundation more strong, more robust from your overall professional development point of view. So that time is current time, where you are doing your graduation or your post graduation, or even if you want to do your post graduation after your graduation. So what you can do, this phase of your life where you're spending 4 years in college, is the most important thing. Now, why it is important? It is important because you need to develop your personality. You need to understand the concepts. You need to build your principles, as in how you can change your life, as in how you can change your personality, because eventually it is your personality who is going to give benefits in future. Now we will talk about those benefits in few minutes from now. But before that, you need to understand there is a learning curve or learning cycle which keeps on going throughout your life. So those students or those people who believe that after doing graduation they don't need to study anything or they don't need to learn anything, that is the most I would say, in a blunt language, is the most foolish thing they would ever think. It is because even if you don't learn in future, right, you will lag in your life. You will not be able to progress in your career. You will not be able to meet the challenges like we are having right now in pandemic situation. Because I will tell you how this pandemic situation is going to change the entire ecosystem and what sort of new skills are required to be learned in order to survive in this competitive environment of corporate world, right? So understand that continuous upskilling is the key right? For everybody of us, whether you are a student or you are a professor or you are a researcher or you are a corporate person or you are a CEO of any company or maybe you are a minister in a government organization. Why it is so? It is so because the technology is changing every now and then. So people, there is, according to World Economic Forum, in just 5 years, 35% of the skills they get changed. Can you imagine that? Now, when you are studying right now in graduation, we are studying the basic principles. And to be very honest with you, at least in India, before this NEP 2020 policy, which government has recently published, uh, we understand that whatever we are learning may be obsolete or may not be up to the mark. That is not the case. Even if you are studying something which is very old, it is building your principles. But yes, there is a gap that our education policy does not allow you or does not include the new technologies in your curriculum. So there is a gap in our education system which you guys are facing, and you should meet that gap in order to be successful in life. And how can you meet that gap is from the top part, basically the continuous. So being in the graduation or being in any job, wherever you are working, you must upskill yourself. By upskilling, I mean whatever skills you have got so far is okay. That is your own capability, but you must build your but you must include or improve your capabilities by upskilling yourself, by learning new technologies, new soft skills, new concepts and fundamentals. So that way you will be able to beat the competition, right? So this is the framework of our professional development. Now you need to understand, and everybody should follow this professional development framework. Now, how to achieve this? That is the second part, and this can be achieved with the help of the traits that everybody should have. Now, what should we do actually to do this? So the thing that is most important is the hard work. There is no shortcut to hard work. Most of you might be doing hard work or would have already done hard work. That is good. But if you have not done any hard work so far now, or you might have taken your life very, uh, uh, candidly or carelessly, to be honest, in that case, you must think to work hard, right? Working hard is the key to be successful in life. Whatever you're doing, do it with a full diligence. That is the most important thing. The second thing is the discipline. Now, even if you are a student in your institute, you must be disciplined. By discipline, I mean whether it is related to waking up early in the morning or attending a lecture or uh, preparing for your examination, or maybe you're doing your job, your employment with any of the company or any of the colleges. You must be disciplined in the things that you are doing. And finally, you must have a focus in the area that you're working. So everybody, they would definitely have certain areas of interest. You should definitely pursue your area of interest, but you should always have a very strong focus on your studies, on your overall personality development, on the on those areas where you have some interest and you want to do certain things, right? Now, of course, these are very important three things, but then it is also very important that we must not forget the enjoyment or the entertainment in our life. If I don't talk about entertainment or enjoyment, then that will sound very bookish, and you will think that this is type of a gyan which I'm continuously giving, and this doesn't make sense. That is absolutely right. So what is very important here is the entertainment or enjoyment that you should continuously have in your life. Your mind should get rejuvenated all the time so that you have energy to do things, right? You cannot hard work unless you have an energetic mind, or you cannot be disciplined, or you cannot have a focus or concentration unless your mind is rejuvenated. So how can you do that? You should do some creative things in your life, or you must have some hobbies in your life with the help of which you can feels energetic, be it playing cricket or football, or even if watching movies in theaters, or having gupshup with your friends, or doing video calls or whatever. But at the same time, you must focus on your studies, on your area of work. You must have a discipline in your life, and you must do all the proper due diligence in that particular area, so that you are able to achieve the milestone that you are running after, right? For example, if you're preparing for post graduation entrance examination, maybe a CAT or GMAT or GRE per se, you apart from your studies, you must be very focused on it. So right from maybe year 2 or year 3 of your engineering or your other graduation courses, you should start preparing for it, right? That is an area of your interest, and you should start preparing for it. You must be focused. You should take out certain time of your overall time span of 24 hours. From that, you should take 1 or 2 hours daily, where you should focus on that particular studies, and you should have a discipline to do that study over the years, until the time when you will actually take that examination. So you will see that when you are able, when you complete that overall cycle with proper hard work, discipline, and you focus, you will be able to hit the milestone. But remember, you should do justice with your traits. It should not be the case that you only do enjoyment but you don't do any hard work, or you are disciplined but you are not doing any hard work, or you are focused. So all these 3 or 4 things should go hand in hand. That is the most important thing in order to be successful in life. And finally, once you are able to achieve a milestone in your life, when you get a job, or when you get into a business, or when you set up your own new business, you will be able to reap certain benefits, right? And you can see here, I have listed down certain benefits which are going to be very important for you in your life. And everybody is after these benefits. You want to earn more money, you want to maximize your wealth, you want to get recognized in your life. If you feel recognized, if you are recognized by your organization, or by your company, or your college, you feel honored and privileged, you feel motivated. Then the third thing is remain being healthy and fit. That is also a very important thing, because if you are not healthy and fit, you cannot we cannot do anything, to be honest, because you will feel frustrated, you will feel irritated, and you may not be able to focus or do hard work in the rest of your life. And eventually you will not be able to focus on the continuous upskilling. So in order to be able to do continuous upskilling, you need to have a very healthy and fit life. So focus on those things. And personal satisfaction is another aspect, where when you are able to achieve certain milestones in your life, whether winning a competition, or winning a job offer, or winning a seat in one of the top colleges in India or outside India, that should give you some sort of satisfaction in your mind. And eventually that satisfaction is going to build certain confidence in you, and confidence is going to robust your or strengthen your foundation, which is the professional development foundation. So eventually, when you are going to be more experienced in your life, in your professional career, you will be able to upskill yourself, and you will be able to do your job more confidently and more efficiently, right? And finally, you should be able to maintain your relations with the people with whom you are going to work, and with the people with whom you are going to live your life. So relations, by relations I mean two type of relations: professional and personal. Professional relations are those relations where you work with your clients, with your seniors, with your professors, with your alumni, with your friends in the professional world. Personal relationships are with your family, because that is also a very important aspect in your professional life, because the personal relations within your family, within your ecosystem, definitely impact your professional development. If you are not having a very happy personal relationship, then definitely your mind remain upset, or it may get impacted, and that may hamper your ability to learn new things, right? So these are the some important goals which you should have in your life, and eventually these goals will become the benefits for you in your life. These goals can be categorized into two categories: short term goals and long term goals. At this point of time in your career, when you are doing your graduation or post graduation, you should focus on the short term goals, but definitely you should have a long term goal, and the long term goal should be very high, right? There is a saying from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. You must have read from one of his book, Wings of Fire. He says you should never aim small, always aim very high in your life. Because if you aim very high in your life, there is a possibility that you might not be able to achieve that thing, but there is a very high possibility that you will be able to achieve near to that aim. So at least, even if you aim for a biggest, you might not be able to achieve it, but you should be able to achieve bigger, right? Whatever you have or whatever you could have aimed in your life. So that is a key in your life. So think from those lines. Okay. So this is all about how we can simplify the complex journey of our life. The reason I talked about all these aspects is that because when you want to talk about skills, or when you think about skills in your life, these things are going to impact the skills that you are going to hone in your life. And in the current phase of your career, when you are pursuing your graduation, your post graduation, it is very important for all of you to understand the journey of your life and to focus on these things. If you don't focus on any of these things, believe me, you are going to lose in your life. Please don't get don't think that you are not working, you are not studying in IIMs or IITs or whatever. People have these type of notions generally. It is your own mental ability which can help you in getting the right job offer that you deserve, right? Believe me, I have seen in my professional career in the last 15 years, people from private colleges, private institutes are doing better than those people who have passed their graduation or post graduation from IITs and IIMs. Why? This is because they have been able to focus on this framework which I just told you, right? They have been able to do all the due diligence with regards to the upskilling of their skills that they were required to do so. Now, what sort of upskilling is required? I'm going to talk about next. So next is what sort of skills are required. So if you see here, I've broken down the skills logically into two segments. Bear with me. So you see here, I've broken down the skills into two segments. The first segment is the soft skills, and the second segment is the technical skills. Now, you need to understand what is more important for you. To be honest with you, in this world, both the skills are very important. Now, if you think you only learn or you become sharp in technical skills without giving any importance to soft skills, you are going to fail, definitely fail, or you are going to lag behind in your career, right? Secondly, the other scenario, the other vice versa case is when you think that I'm very outspoken, I'm confident in life, I speak, I write very well in life. Even if I don't learn concepts, even if I don't upskill, even if I don't learn about new technologies, I can do wonders in life. That may be the case, but believe me, that is that percentage is just 5% people. The rest 95% people of that sort of mentality are bound to fail in their life because they are going to lack a very important aspect in their life, which is upskilling their technical skills. So what do you understand from this logical breakdown? The most important thing is that Both these areas, soft skills and technical skills, are important or are mandatory in your life, and they have equal weightages in your life. 50% for soft skills, 50% of technical skills. You might have seen, for example, some of you might have already attended certain interviews with the campus recruitment drives, or outside campus recruitment as well, where you might have attended those interviews and you might have seen people taking your interviews, and they're talking about technical skills. They might be asking you about questions about Java, or how a motor works, what sort of flux, what is a flux, some basic questions from your engineering background. That is very good, and you might be feeling confident in answering those questions, but you don't know that at the back of their mind they are also assessing you from your soft skills point of view. And that is a key. Whenever an interviewer, or any interviewer who is sitting in an interview panel, whether it is a interview panel of a higher educational institute, or corporate private company, or a government job, or maybe jobs like of scientist in ISRO or DRDO, they all the panelists assess you from these two aspects point of view. First is soft skill, the second is technical skills. They are not going to ask any specific questions from you from your soft skills point of view, but they are going to definitely ask you questions, or in fact the whole interview is going to be focused on your technical skills, right? But then there is a hidden assessment as well, which continuously goes on when you are sitting in an interview, and that is all about soft skills. So soft skills are very important, and you must adhere to those soft skills. So now, what are those soft skills that are required? These are the soft skills. Bear with me, let me shift my, yeah. Okay, so you see here, you must have seen these things, or read these about these skills somewhere, but some of you might have given importance to these. Some of you might not have thought about these things, or might be thinking that you will improvise on these things. But believe me, you cannot survive without having these skills in your life. First is verbal communication. This is a key in your life. You must be able to speak fluently and confidently in your life. Now, English is a very important language. Of course, Hindi is something which is our mother tongue, and everybody speaks Hindi very fluently, and other regional languages, whether it is Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, whatever. But then at the end of the day, when you are in a corporate world, or when you are in a professional environment, the medium of instruction is English, and you must be able to speak fluent English, confident English. Second is written communication, is about how you are able to write emails, how you are able to write letters, how you are able to write reports, or research papers, or white papers. So this is very important, because even if you have all the thoughts in your mind, you have all the concepts in your mind, and you are not able to write it in a very lucid and simple manner, then that won't help you. That won't make sense, to be honest. So these two things are very key. Now, what you can do possibly now in your life, current life span, is focus on these verbal skills and written communication skills. I know in engineering, you have English until second semester. After that, you don't have as a paper. I'm not sure with I'm not updated with the current curriculum, but in our times, it was until second semester only. But to be honest, in order to be successful in your life, you should continuously learn about verbal communication and written communication. And for that, there are ample of libraries, ample of magazines, reading material available online, in libraries, physical libraries, online libraries, which you can go through and refer to hone your verbal and written communication. Believe me, if you don't do this right now, you will lag in your in your career, you might not be able to crack an interview, or you might not be able to crack a competitive exam after your graduation. So focus on this right now in the next 2 to 3 years. On a regular basis, upskill yourself from a verbal communication point of view and written communication point of view. There are, outside our institutes, there are some private institutes as well, which you can join to hone your group discussion skills, because group discussion is a very key aspect which is important in certain jobs, or in certain academic admissions. So you can join those institutes on a regular basis, practice group discussions, practice how you can interview, practice English speaking. That is a key thing, because I understand from the geographical area where we belong in India is a northern part, and that too specifically from Uttar Pradesh. Hindi is a primary language, and most of us speak Hindi very fluently and very, conveniently, and that is very good. But at the same time, important is that you must be able to converse in English very fluently and lucidly. Next in the list is the how can you be creative and innovative. So believe me, if you have a creative and innovative mind, you are going to excel in your life. Now, what you can do in order to be a creative and innovative is, in the current times when you are when you are studying in your professional course like BTech, BCA, or B Pharma, or MBA, you should think about some problem statements from the real life, and try to build certain projects out of it. Be creative, think about innovative solution, write a problem statement, write an objective what you want to achieve out of it, and then try to find a solution out of it. And once you find the solution, conclude it with your findings and use your innovative mind. Try to challenge your own mind, try to challenge your capability and build that that solution of that particular problem which you have identified. With that, you will be able to hone your creativity, your innovative skills basically, and you can definitely showcase that creative work or innovative work in your resume or CV for your upcoming offers or academic background. It doesn't matter whether you belong from a mechanical engineering or a chemical engineering or from an IT branch. What matters is that whether you have been creative or innovative in your academic background or not, whether you identified a problem or not, and did you really do any due diligence in order to find a solution, a creative or innovative solution for that particular problem. I'm personally, associated with MIET, and I know they have robotics and other laboratories which are running 24/7 for the for the students. And I know their students are, continuously, um, doing some projects and making some nice robots, which is a fabulous thing. I appreciate, because that is something which is going to help both. It's a win-win situation for the institute and for the students. Institute is able to build their resources, innovative resources, and students are able to build their strong resumes and CVs, which are going to eventually help in their career. So even if a student who has built a robot sits for an interview which is for a mechanical company, that might help, because when he is sitting in a interview which is a mechanical company, they might ask questions about that particular robot from that particular person. And then if he is able to talk about that creative solution and innovative solution, it is going to give a benefit or an edge to other students or other competitive, sorry, to the other people who are in the competition. So that is going to give an edge. Next part is the adaptability and the flexibility. It is very important that in your life you should be adaptive and flexible. By adaptive, I mean you should be able to adapt new things in your life. You should not be conservative in your thinking, in your approach to life, and you should be flexible. Even if tomorrow you sit for an interview and somebody asks you, are you open to relocate to Vishakhapatnam? Then some of you might have reservations or about it. You might not want to go there. So from the corporate point of view, or corporate mindset point of view, or from the interviewer point of view, you will not be flexible, right? So don't do that. If you want to succeed in your life, think out of the box, be flexible, adapt the changes that are coming your way in your life. That is the key. Next is emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is very important here. Emotional intelligence is all about how you can inspire people, how you can influence people, and how you can make yourself emotionally strong. This is very important in life because life is not like this. It cannot go always in a upgoing trend. There are ups and downs in life, whether it is your professional life or personal life, and those ups and downs factors affect yourself in your life. So it is very important that you focus on your emotional intelligence, make your emotional intelligence more strong and robust. And leadership qualities are also very important. You must be able to build your leadership qualities. By that I mean you should be able to speak confidently, you should participate in debates, you should participate in group discussions, you should be able to influence your stakeholders, your professors, your other colleagues, or your friends in your group. So leadership, build your leadership skills, because this is something which should get inculcated during your 4-year time period when you are doing your professional courses. And always have a positive attitude in your life. Even if you face a failure, don't think that that is the end of the world. Positive attitude is the key to actually have a confidence in your life, and do things differently, think out of the box, and then doing getting these soft skills inculcated in you. So it is very important that in your life you must have positive attitude as the fundamental. On top of it, you should build these soft skills. And finally, I'll talk about what technical skills are required in your life. So if you see on the right hand side, it doesn't matter whether you are from uh, mechanical, chemical, or IT, or electronics, or electrical. You must be abreast with all the latest technologies in the world. And currently in the pandemic situation of COVID-19, we have seen that most of the organization are still operating, but they are operating remotely. It is very important that remote operations are sustained, and they should be safe, and they should be running up and all the times. So their availability should always be very high, maybe 99.9999 percentages. So how can that happen? What technologies can actually enable those things? So the most important technology is the internet technology. The 5G data, mobile 5G data, is the new upcoming technology, which is a uh, burning topic across the world. People in Europe, especially in UK, France, Germany, especially, and now I've learned about Asia Pacific as well, where telecom companies in India like Jio and Airtel, now they are focusing on 5G technology as well. So learn about 5G data services. It is very important that you understand the 5G data services, how the network works, how the packet sessions work. It doesn't matter whether you are from a chemical engineering or you are from a pharmaceutical company. What is important is you have a holistic understanding about all the topics. You should be perfect, or you should be expertise in one area, you should have a specialization in one area, but you must have knowledge of all the aspects. And mobile 5G data is one of those things. Second thing is data science. Data science is very important because these days all the things are being done on IT infrastructure, and data is a key. So large amount of data is being stored. For example, if you refer to Aadhaar card, right? Aadhaar so Aadhaar is a type of a data which is hosted in big servers, massive servers for people like 135 crores. It is very important to have a platform which should host that huge amount of data or big data. So that big data is hosted on big servers, on big clouds, and how we can churn that data, how we can process, analyze that data to make meaningful decisions out of it is a data science. So you can be a data scientist as well going forward in future. So start learning about those things, because these are the key things in the next 3 to 4 years from now. You must have an industry know-how as well. So by industry know-how, I mean you must have a basic understanding of telecommunication, banking, pharmaceutical, automobile, almost all the industries in the world. This will help you in cracking your interviews, your job interviews, because even if you have industry know-how of some industries, this is going to give an edge in your interview or in your any assessment that you undergo in future. Digital and coding skills are also very important, because digital and coding skills help you in building your software skills. So by the digital and coding skills, I mean you should be able to learn about Java technology, Python, PHP, C++, C. These are some of the application or technological skills which you should hone right now, because when you go into corporate world, you will be anyways given training in these things, but then you will have an upper edge from those people who don't have these skills, and eventually this will help you in learning things quickly. Currently in the corporate world, we are seeing that there is a digital transformation going on everywhere in across all the industries. By digital transformation, we mean that people are migrating or their legacy application systems from old architecture to a new architecture, which is based on new upcoming technologies like robotic process automation, cognitive intelligence, virtual reality. So that digital transformation can only happen with the help of coding skills that you will learn in your professional career. Robotic process automation is a new thing which is helping most of the companies these days to uh, improvise their operational efficiency. It helps in bringing efficiencies in how they operate and how they do their procedures repeatedly, right? So this helps in reducing the cost that our companies invest in doing things for their to run their businesses. So robotic process automation is another thing. There is ample of material available on Udemy, Coursera, different online websites and universities that are available. Internet of things is again a new thing which enables new services like smart cities, smart metering, um, and so on and so forth. So basically, you should learn about these things. Then cognitive intelligence is another key. Right now, most of the time, you must have seen that people are, using mobile apps to interact and get things done. So for example, I'll take a use case where you might have a mobile app and you ask mobile app from your voice to take certain actions for you. For example, you might want to order a pizza. So you can ask your mobile app to order a pizza for you just by saying, and then that mobile app is going to capture your voice, process your voice, convert into data, and send it to the backend platform, which process your data, create instructions, commands, and place orders for your pizza or whatever product or service you want to order. So this is cognitive intelligence. The machine should be able to learn from what you are speaking or what you're saying, and this is a new technology coming in. So machine learning and cognitive intelligence is another area. And finally, the virtual reality, which is about uh, uh, giving a 4D angle to the world, where you put certain glasses on your eyes and try to see world, and you can, in a simplistic way, you can understand that if you project anything on a screen with the projector, you are able to take certain actions. but virtual reality is about having everything virtually, right? So you can project something in the space, which can act as a 4D. You take certain actions on it, and then certain activities are going to happen, right? So that is virtual reality. I'm talking very generically on these topics, because some of the students or some of the people might not be very well versed about these things. But what is important here is that you should have a very holistic approach in your life with regards to your technical skills. So finally, to conclude my discussion, I want to convey that you should possess soft skills and technical skills both together, and don't think that if you only get technical skills, you will be able to succeed in your life. That is not the case. You should have and you must have soft skills and technical skills both together in order to succeed in your life, and in order to achieve what you want to achieve. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. So any questions or anything that we can take right now? I'm open for that.
Well, sir, this is a question whether there are any of the tools or application which will help in the teaching and testing our soft skills. Is there any tool which can test our soft skills?
The okay, so there are so the best tool is yourself, to be honest. When you learn things and you practice them, you will be able to assess on your own how confident you are, and whether you are able to make mistakes or not. But then obviously you need certain assessment. So there are online courses available which help you in building your written communication. Specifically, there are courses available from Coursera and Oxford University as well, which you can take and try to assess yourself. With regards to verbal communication, it is more about how confidently you speak. So I would say the best tool is to participate in group discussions, to participate in mock interviews, which will help you in assessing where you are standing and how much you should improvise.
Okay. We have Rajni Chauhan who wants to ask something.
Yes, Rajni, go on.
Rajni Chauhan, ma'am. I think some network glitch is there. We have one more. Sonia Gupta, ma'am. In the middle of session, she raised her hand. Do we have ma'am here? Can you hear me?
Okay, Ayush, there is question from Umang. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency? How can we use the skills to understand that we are doing an investment at the right place or the wrong place?
Crypto. Okay, so this is a new currency which is booming in the market. I'm not very familiar about it, but what I have understood from the market is that this is an upcoming technology and upcoming investment tool for people to invest and earn money. So obviously right now I've seen people in UK are now investing in bitcoins and things like that. So people are making money, and if you are keen to do those things, then you must study for those things.
We have one more question, sir.
Yep.
Is there any alternative of laptop or mobile during online class, because it affects the health of children also? Is there any alternative of laptop and mobile for the online classes?
The other alternative is virtual reality, which is yet to come. But in US there are a few companies who have started building some products on using virtual reality, which is these glasses I was mentioning in my discussion. So for the time being, there is no alternative except the physical classes. What is what you can do possibly is have a judicious use of mobile and laptop, because I appreciate these things affect your eyes, your health, and your mind as well. People are very addictive these days with these gadgets. So if you want to be uh, a stable person, a more confident person, use these things judiciously. That's the only key right now for the time being, unless we get virtual reality products in place.
This question was asked by a member, Dr. Rajendra Singh.
Mhm.
We'll take the last question, sir, because we know that we are taking a lot of time. Umang again asked that, can we make our website from WordPress, or do we need to learn coding for our website making?
What did you say? WordPress?
WordPress.
WordPress.
Workplace?
So WordPress. There is a platform called WordPress.com.
Okay.
You can actually make websites. So he's
Okay.
asking that, whether it would be sufficient, or is it essential to learn coding when it comes to prepare a brilliant website, if I may.
Right. So that's a good question. So right now, so first of all, it is not mandatory to learn coding to build a website, because currently there are ample of platforms available online as well, like you mentioned about WordPress, which maybe I'm not sure of, I've not heard about this, but I know there are platforms available in the market which enables you to use those objects on those websites to build your own website. So it is kind of a user interface which is doing the coding on the background, but and helping you to generate your own website, and improvising your user experience. User by user, I mean the users who are going to use your website. So you can build your own website using certain websites which have certain objects and tools to build the website.
Uh, Ayush, I think we should close because,
Yeah.
sir, it from the bottom of our heart, we thank you a lot. I'll be very frank that I am working since last 20 years, but still this webinar was so much informative for me as well. Having worked for 20 years in the industry,
Yeah.
I got so much information from this webinar. It was very, very enlightening. Secondly, I would also like to thank you for focusing on soft skills, because these days people have this misconception that if they have technical knowledge, uh, COVID has kindly literally exposed that only one skill set will not take you far in career. You have to have the soft skills
Yeah.
required along with the technical skills. So it was very pertinent and very eye-opening. I think every student and every teacher who has attended should focus that a holistic approach towards preparing a candidate is required. So soft skills take the priority here. Uh, I know you're very busy, and we have taken an hour from you, and we are very obliged that you gave us this hour. But as they say, dil mange more. So we would love to see you once more, because 1 hour is not sufficient for us, and and absorbing things out of you. I think 1 hour is not sufficient. So we will request that whenever you have time, if you can give us another hour or so, and can take the conversation forward. Because as I said, I'll at the peril of repeating myself, with dil mange more. So thank you very much, sir. And this is Vishwas Gautam. I'll thank Naveen sir, thank Ayush for
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
for
sir.
coordinating and bringing a personality like you to our platform. I think everyone today is blessed to have been in this webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Amit
No,
ji.
no worries, no worries. I'm also very happy to be a part of this discussion, and I thank Ayush for contacting me, and keep on chasing me. And I'm sorry for being a little bit lazy in responding, because I was very much tied up in the last couple of weeks. I was finding it a little bit hard to find out a time, but finally we got this time slot fixed up. So very happy to be a part of this discussion, and I wish all the very best to all the students, to all the attendees who have listened to me today. I hope this session would have enlightened your minds. And I'm sure you are going to learn from these things. I would say, enjoy your life to the fullest. Do all the masti that is required. Moj masti. Don't think that you only need to study and you only need to focus on your life. That is not the case. As I said, the underlying thing is the entertainment and enjoyment and the rejuvenation of your mind, which eventually help you in building all these things. So focus on your life, do well for yourself and your family. And I wish all the very good luck to you and the institute. Thank you so much for calling me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be signing off today. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye. Bye. Take care.